Hey, we're live. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. As ever, these films, these fold to support my colleagues at UCH, which is where I work. So for now, I am working remote, and this is part of my work. But they're very much for everybody, and it's been such a delight to have this community of people from actually around the world joining us in folding and finding this comfort in the community and the connection from origami. It's such a joy. So thank you for coming along. Hello, Margaret. Thanks for coming. So this week, bringing along a fold that I've designed, and actually, I found myself just making this in response. Hello, Eric. To the invitation to have a vaccine. So, as NHS staff, obviously, we're invited earlier than our age group, and so as soon as invited, felt obviously have to say yes because what a great opportunity! And everybody has a vaccine. Hello, Stephen. Will is helping the country go forward. So at least it's something we can all feel really proud of. I think in that we're doing well here. I really wish that the whole of the world will get the vaccines and the help and the support. A lot of it is also about confidence. And I'm so proud. I'm here in Oxford and so proud, Professor Sarah Gilbert and the groups who work so very, very hard. Hello, Wendy, Alan as well. Worked so hard with such background over so many years, very, very careful and also well tested. It's so safe. Whereas if you think about the vaccine, if you think about the virus, it's definitely not safe. Whereas the vaccine is just a little tiny bit of a spike of the virus, just so that your body gets ready. In a way, it's not really like a medicine. You're just showing a little bit of something which, if you ever got, you want your body to fight off. So it's about actually just encouraging your body to be prepared. That's it. So anyway, so I've had my first vaccine that was in January and I felt completely well. Happened to be the Pfizer. It's just whichever. I guess hospitals can keep it that bit colder, so it makes sense for there. And I had no side effects at all. Hello, honey. I'm actually been invited for the second one now as part of staff. And I'm going to have a second vaccine. I can't believe it, on Monday. So I'm going to travel to London, which is quite a big thing, but will be rather lovely. And I can walk and I can cycle to get there, as well as a train off peak. So it'll all be good. Yeah. So apparently with the Pfizer vaccine, you're more likely to get side effects from the second one more than the first, which is interesting. And apparently the AstraZeneca more with the first, after the first vaccine. And apparently as well, the side effects, which is about your immune system, and it doesn't reflect at all your protection. I was reading this all in a very good BBC article, that as you get older, you're less likely to get side effects, actually. So, yeah. Anyway, it's all good. So, inspired by that first invitation, I wanted to create a little syringe. It's kind of a silly thing, it felt like, but I showed it to others and it made them smile. So, I figure that's reason enough, isn't it, to do it and to pass it on. This actually is all part of some resources I've been working on for the Royal College of Pathologists. So they're the doctors and scientists who work in the NHS to help diagnose disease and therefore suggest the best treatment. So if you look up viruses and vaccines, my name or the Royal College of Pathologists, you'll find this amazing big resource. We've worked so hard, honestly. I've done together with doctors, amazing specialists in viruses and immunology. There's interviews there as well. I've been asking them questions. I've been doing drawings for adult colouring in to relax, and there's lots of origami in there as well. So this is where this one comes from. Hello, everyone. It's so lovely you're having a good chat. In future weeks as well, I'm quite excited. I have been experimenting more myself. So these are new. These are my designs. I have to say, all of these, they come very much with love and care. So you are very welcome to fold as much as you like and to teach and pass on to others. No permission needed from me. So please do. That's, for me, it's come from a place of generosity and I want to pass that on. So this is all in support of scientists, I think, celebrating them. Also, another time, I will show you, I've been experimenting. I've been having such fun. I love this traditional little bird, beautiful bird. And it's inspired me to have an experiment. I've been making they seem to be new rings. I've called this the plumage star. And last night I had a little play as well. I thought the idea of playing with birds is really nice. Obviously, the crane. It doesn't sound as if people have seen this. It feels like everybody would have discovered this, but a star, and somebody said it looks like a compass. So that's quite good. Twisted bird, yes, it does look a bit like that. So I'll maybe share these with you another time. I hope they'll be fun. Right, I'll pop those down there. And actually, the little traditional birds is from a book which I really love. I just wanted to read out a paragraph or so of this because it's so lovely and I think captures it so much. So the introduction. So this book is from Japan. Origami is a beloved way to communicate in Japan, a way for children, parents, and grandparents to spend time together over cheerful conversation. I think we're each other's family at the moment. Children give it to each other as a mark of friendship. Even adults give origami to supplement a main gift, writing a short message on it. Origami can be a heartwarming present for a sick friend in hospital, encouraging them to get well soon. Often about, thank you, Stephen, often about wishing well. It's very interesting, isn't it, the hospital link? Many origami shapes have been handed down through generations. There are certain figures that have been stylized, becoming simple, minimal shapes, which can be easily folded. These are known as densho origami, densho meaning heirloom, a reflection of Japan's cultural traditions. Modern Japan has westernized, but densho origami has spread all over the world, binding people together. That felt really apt to me, and it is that tradition, the sharing, the connection, I think that it's all about. So hence I was having fun with playing with the traditions and seeing whether there's anything new I could maybe find from that. Maybe it'll become a tradition. Who knows? Right. So how are we going to make a syringe? It's more of a decoration, really. Obviously. Thinking about, I think none of us really like syringes, do we? So I thought, is there a way to make it friendly? I think I was just trying to get my head around it all. So, so if you grab yourself some A4 paper, A4, I think, rather than origami paper, because what we're going to use is a long strip. So if you can go and find that. Oh, thanks, Stephen. Oh, yeah, I will share with you how I folded those. It's been really fun. I think I just started realizing if you've got a tuck, that if there's a little tuck that you can put something in, then you can make something. Oh, thanks, honey. It is what it's all about. I think, yeah. Generosity and care. It's been a joy to pass that on. Right. So we're going to use the whole length of paper, and we want a strip of about 5 centimetres. If it's much wider, then it'll be quite hard to get your needle, not too wide. Just checking what 5 centimetres looks like. If it's narrower, I suppose you'll end up with a narrow one. Anyway, so if you fold yourself a strip of around 5 centimetres, you could also colour these things in. I'm wondering, honey, whether you can do any nice colourful pieces with this. I'd be very curious. This one, which has got, as you can see, is actually from the viruses and vaccines resources that I've been making. So you can look there and you can print out a sheet for another time. You do get a choice. I do not believe that you should have a choice, but for origami you can. So depending on which vaccine you end up with. So there is either the AstraZeneca, that's the AstraZeneca one, the Oxford one, or the Pfizer, which is like just the messages to make the spikes. So yeah, you can choose your own. Here goes. Right, so we've got a little strip, and all I'm going to do is just, if you've got a good strong fold, then we can tear that off. It's true, Eric, and it is. I think most of all, generally you do get what you give. Not always, of course, I know, but often. If you give people a nice smile, you act well, then that usually comes back to you. Can't guarantee it, but you can try to model how you'd like to be treated, can't you? Oh, for ink blending, wow. Presumably not the needle part though. Just the the syringe, I'm guessing. Excellent. So you've got a nice long strip now. Now the first step is to fold it in half. I'm very curious whether anyone who is brilliant at origami, whether they could come up with something that moves. I'm not there yet. This is simply a decoration. Although I was so inspired to hear someone who got in touch saying, I'm inspired by your colourful syringes, because I did a whole sort of wheel of different colours. I'd like to make some bunting, some syringe bunting, which I thought was kind of a cute idea. So hopefully you've got a strip and folded it in half. Has that worked for you? Keen as always to make sure we're here together. So it's going inwards like that. That's it. So I'm curious at what point I'll go back to the hospital. So this obviously when I do, then as soon as I can, then I will, because I think staff and patients will really need that. So in a way, this is temporary, but we'll just see. I genuinely have no idea when things will change. For now, let's just enjoy the moment. So I fold it in half, turn it over to this side. That's it. Oh dear, sorry Eric, just one hand today. Anyway, you can watch, can't you? So we're going to do the top of the syringe. Maybe it'll help to look at that. So we're going to do the top part. So I've got, it's a mountain fold there. I'm just going to fold over the top. I always find it much harder if you're showing something you've come up with. I find it harder. So I've got no one to ask how it should be. I've actually seen a few people have folded this with me, and it's been lovely to see because they've folded it much better than I have. So there we go. Neater. It is a real test actually, because you'll find that you have to keep everything lined up. That's fine. Right, so that's the front. We're now going to work on the back of it. Most of the work is on the back, so it's hidden away. Okay, so working on the back. So you have got that on the front, turning it over. And you're going to just bring that inwards and press down, and it will gently make a kind of a triangle. Do you see? So it's this bit on the outside, turning it over, and I'm folding in the edge and pressing that down. It forms like a little triangle. Now, it is, again, this is the sort of being neat. You've got to then follow this strip all the way along. It's quite a long way, isn't it? To keep it straight. Enjoy the concentration it will encourage. And there we go. All right, it's on one side. Does that work for you? Great. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So again, bringing that down. Do this on the surface, I think. Bringing it down, and so bring it in a similar sort of width as to the other one. Bring it down, and then you should be able to just press that down to make a little triangle. So I'm expecting at the moment it to be less busy than it was, because of course schools have gone back. So there will have been more families and children joining us, whereas now they'll be at school. But I know some are watching afterwards as well. So this is for everyone's well-being. There we go. So something like that. Yeah. So if you turn to the front, it's looking like that. That's good. Hope yours is looking like that. Great. So we're going to do, I guess this is the top kind of plunger bit. So we're onto the top plunger. So to do that, we're going to take all of this down here. We're going to make a fold up here. So I'm going to bring it all the way up. It's a bit hard to keep it on view. Great. Bring it all the way up, keeping everything aligned. And leaving, and then bringing it down again and leaving behind a tuck. Can you see? Actually, Nick Robinson has very, very kindly offered maybe to make a diagram of this. I'm thinking it's quite hard to do that. I don't know. I don't quite know how to diagram this. I've just done it as a film because I find it slightly hard to explain. So we've left behind a tuck. And what we're going to do now is turn again to the back, which is the working area. Happy? Are you all with me? Let's see. So Nick Robinson is actually president for the British Origami Society, and he's designed so many pieces himself. He's an amazing designer, published lots of books. He's a really nice guy. Yeah. I've included, I think, his Father Christmas. He's been very kind and said welcome to share any of his fold as well. So he's been kind. Right. So we're going to sort of make it wide. So I'm going to bring this up. Can you see? It's just lifted it out again. And you want to do the same as well for the bottom. I'm getting this close because if at a distance you just won't see what's going on otherwise, will you? Same thing. You have to go quite carefully actually. So you may well have to gently fiddle around, but hopefully you will have managed to get it out wider again. It's because what we're trying to do is make that little plunger bit which sticks out. This is the tricky bit of it. That's it. Yeah, so Nick will do lots of diagrams. So where diagrams I find really hard. I've occasionally tried to draw out the steps, but it takes absolutely ages. Don't find it particularly easy, and I don't quite know how to describe this one. Maybe he'll find a way. Right, are you all happy? Are you all there? So it's kind of wide. Our next step is again to bring this all the way up and then bring it down again leaving a tuck behind. So it's kind of lined up with the previous one. How do you diagram this? I don't know. Hope you're following it. And our next step then is to bring it back to going inwards again. You should just be able to go back to the line that was originally there. And it's kind of hopefully just lined up with what you had previously. Oh, because Nixie is excellent. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, he must have been doing it all his life, mustn't he, Nick? Oh, that's good. Yeah, he suggested a series of photos, so I'll give it a go. But it just feels like the paper goes up and down. And how do you explain that? I don't know, but maybe it'll make sense. He'll figure it out. Is that working for you? Does that look good? Look, you can see from the front. As I said, mine are always a little bit wobbly. I've seen some really sharp folding of this, actually. Much sharper than I do. Great. So it all gets a little bit easier after this, I think. So we're going to go to the back. That's the working area. Brilliant. And I'm going to take this whole area. Right, I'm just thinking about the sort of proportions again. So I guess I'm going to take it up here. So you do the same thing. Take it up here. Yeah, it's the piece of paper going up and down. That's the bit I can't quite get my head around how you diagram it. Oh well, he can figure it out. And leave behind a tuck again. So it's kind of more of a principle. Every time you do a tuck, it allows you to push it in or bring it out. That's it, really. That was all that I kind of realised, and therefore realised how to do it. It was actually a little while back. I don't know if you remember the rocket. You can see just about there. I did the rocket, the same kind of principle. And actually, I got that principle really from people who've been making little houses over this time, origami houses, which are rather sweet. And so that was really where I got that principle of the roof and things like that. So great. So our next step, you've again given a tuck, which means you can then bring it inwards. So again, I'm just folding over so it will be the same width as that little wren that you've already got. You see what I mean? So I'm going to fold it over so it just rolls over in effect. So hard to put into words. Can you see? And I'm going to do the same thing from this side again, bringing it in, you will push down a little triangle at the back. There's the inner workings going on here. At the moment, this needle will be a bit wide. That wouldn't be a good idea. So I think we need to make it narrower again. So, yep. So again, turning to the back, exactly the same thing. So taking this, bringing it up, keeping it lined up, and again, leaving behind a tuck, bringing it down. The knack is keeping everything lined up, isn't it? Which isn't that easy. Part of the joy, the focus that it brings. And then it means I can do the same thing again, bring it in. And I'm sort of, in a minute, I'm going to be folding it in half. So I've just done that. And to do the other one, I'm going to then fold. It's going to be pretty thick. Yep, Eric, this would be tricky for fingers. I'm actually now kind of pushing it in half like that. If you were able, you could even shape the end a little bit as well. Now, at the moment, you'll find it sort of will hinge back a bit, which isn't great. You could put tape down there, although obviously that's not that desirable to the origamist. But actually, I found if you just sort of go back to that midway line a little bit and get it a little bit more in half, then it will sort of keep it all together a little bit more. There we go. And that sort of keeps it a bit. But as I said, you might in the end want to glue it a little bit there. I haven't actually, but it is a little bit, could be a little bit wobbly. There you have it. Your vaccine. Maybe you could decorate it. I did like the idea of syringe bunting. Yeah, so I hope that's worked for you. I would love to see your pieces, whether you'll make them colourful or just keep them simple and white. Could be nice for shading, or maybe keep it simple. I'd love to see your pieces. If you happen to use Twitter, then I'm on Twitter at Dr. Lizzie Burns. You'll see lots of pictures. And on Facebook, if you use Facebook, it's fine. If you don't use any of these things, completely understand. And that's Join the Fold Origami to Beat Boredom. So if you did want to share any pictures, it's always lovely to see. You don't have to as well. So yeah, next week I will share another one that I've developed as part of this viruses and vaccines project, because I just wanted to help people understand. Thank you, Eric. What's happening? To understand more about the virus, how your body fights viruses, how vaccines work. So it's a really big resource. I put an awful lot of time and care into it. It's been a real joy to do, and to work with the scientist doctors who are helping us at this time, and they were pleased with it. So that really means a lot. So if you want to check it out, viruses and vaccines, look up under my name or Royal College of Pathologists, you'll find it. So next week I'll be sharing with you, I've adapted a traditional vase, the multiform it's called. Anyway, basically modified something traditional to look like an antibody. And I can then try to explain as well how your body defend itself. So you can make antibodies, which is exactly what the vaccine is encouraging you to do. So that's been really fun, actually, for the resources there. So if you did have time before next week's fold, if you were to join the live fold, you could actually print out a page there of fold. I think it's under fold an antibody. And I've done a drawing there, and it's a drawing which will then come together when it's folded correctly. It took a lot. We realised we just couldn't do it except by doing it physically. So that's been really fun. So next week we'll make an antibody, also something that looks a bit like DNA. I'm then going to take a break, actually. Over the next 2 weeks I'm on annual leave, but I will do a fold next week, but I'm going to take a week's break. So the last Wednesday of this month will be a gap just of a week. But again, trying to model care, that we should all take breaks. I know it's quite tempting because we're at home, we're not able to get away, to therefore kind of work all the time. And I mean, obviously I love this, so it's not exactly not exactly hard work. I love it, but it's still important to take a break, and it is about everybody deserves that, whatever they do. So I'll be taking a break then. After that, we'll be sharing a beautiful chicken that lays an egg, which was designed by, I think, a Hungarian origamist, a woman there. And then after that, thank you, Eric. I'll be back next week. And then after that, I could maybe share those, well, one at a time, really. But there's a little modular pieces inspired by this beautiful, I love this little bird, isn't it beautiful? And can you see how it's related? So there's this one, which I call Plumage Star. And another time, if you have come across anybody who has invented this or discovered it, I think they're all discoveries, really, because I haven't mapped out how this would look. It was just playing around. So with the crane making this, which I was rather thrilled, a geographer looked at it and said, it looks like a compass, which I really liked, and actually thought both of them looked like a compass. And I love the idea that obviously migratory birds will have that internal compass following the magnetic map of the Earth to be able to navigate. What an amazing thing. So it's kind of quite a curious shape, this. I didn't at first know whether I liked it, but it's certainly interesting. It's kind of edgy. So the two of them, inspired by birds, we'll do them on separate times. Oh, brilliant, Margaret. So yes, I will be sharing these in weeks to come as well. So hang on in there. There's plenty of exciting things to do, and I look forward to it. And yeah. Oh, Matt, hello. Fantastic. You joined us. That's wonderful. My dear friend, who is very much akin in what he does, he's a magician and looks at wonder. And we share very, very much in common. And as a wonder worker, and I've sort of come at it from the other end of trying to tackle boredom, but wonder is the way forward. And just with a piece of paper, it turns out the possibilities are endless. Yeah, so this plumage star, or the crane compass, I'm calling it now. So wishing you all a lovely rest of your day. I hope you're going to go and enjoy spring. Go and look at some buds. I found some fallen branches, some little ends of branches that would otherwise be left to perish on the floor, and I've put some in water, and I'm just so enjoying little buds beginning to emerge. Will they be flowers? Will they be leaves? I don't know, but I'm very happy to see them. So I hope you can go and enjoy some nature. Do look after yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you next week, and then there'll be a week's gap after that. Bye.